I believe that one of the biggest investing opportunities is here right now for CS2, and that's because of Valve's latest update. Now obviously they brought in the sealed Genesis terminal. When unboxed, you're going to be able to choose between 5 skins, but there's a lot of crucial differences. First up, there's no knives inside of this, and second of all, you're buying a skin directly from Valve. Now obviously that's a lot in and of itself, but they also went ahead and removed the fracture case, putting it from the active drop pool where the sealed Genesis terminal is now dropping into the rare drop pool where the fracture case now is. And this presents a huge opportunity for a lot of different investments. Obviously a lot of people are looking at the fracture case, talking about the potential investment opportunity there, but it's not necessarily just that. There's a lot of other investment opportunities that have been created because of this. Now obviously the fracture case is the one everyone's looking at because it is a relatively cheap case. If we want to look at it, its previous successors have not been doing too great. The fracture shot up in price a little bit and it's seeming to lose a decent amount of that, which is exactly what we expect when we look at the clutch and the snakebite case. The two most previously removed cases, they shot up in price and they lost nearly all of that. Now long term, it doesn't really matter too much because obviously they're rare cases. The supply is going to go down as long as the unboxings stay up, but there's a lot to break down about making the best investment based off what we're seeing. Skinland is today's sponsor, and if you're looking to sell your CS2 skins, they are the #1 spot. Now with Valve's latest update, you have to wait 7 days to go ahead and get your money, but with Skinland, you're going to be able to get the best rate possible with a $10 free bonus on your first trade. Now don't forget to use code MasterShiny for that bonus, and the best part about this is they are one of the first to bring this back, and they are the most safe option to sell your CS2 skins for cash. They've also got a massive marketplace if you're looking to pick up some CS2 skins as well, significantly cheaper than the Steam market. I sell on Skinland for the best rate, so don't wait. Now I mentioned it a little bit in my previous video, but honestly I don't think the fracture is the most advantageous investment to make right now for a couple different reasons. First up, obviously it's up 60 to 100% depending on what price points you're grabbing, which is already a lot, but it's not necessarily just that. If we want to look at the fracture case itself, there's a lot of problems here. Now it does have some good. It's got the fracture or the shattered web knives, which are extremely valuable, but that's kind of where it stops. The skins inside of it aren't anything too crazy. It does have some nice ones, but it really comes down to the supply itself. The fracture case is the most supplied case out there right now because it's been in the active drop pool for 5 years. That's the most significant amount of time in nearly the entire history of the game the case has been actively dropping, meaning it could have maybe 80 to 100 million cases out there. It's a very rough estimate, but there's so many of these fracture cases out there. I know tons of people personally that have 10 to 50,000 of these cases stacked away, and that's just on a very small level. Overall, the fracture case very long term is going to end up being a decent investment, most likely as long as the demand is sustained, but I think honestly a lot of people are getting blinded by the fact it's now a rare case and really overlooking the fact that the supply is so massive it's not going to be shooting up in price and sustaining that most likely unless it's just pure hype around it. The case is solid, it's decent, but it's not anything absolutely insane like the other opportunities I think are out there right now. Now before we get to one of the biggest investment opportunities, I think it's very important to look at the rare case market overall, and it's really in a solid position now because of this sealed Genesis terminal update. All of these cases in my opinion just got so much more desirable because they have the knives inside of it. Now we don't know what's going to be coming next. If it's going to be another sealed Genesis terminal like case where there's no knives and you're buying directly from Valve, therefore the active drop pool would look significantly different as you had a 40% chance to get that, or if we're going to go back to getting a normal case afterwards, honestly does not matter. The rare case market still looks very solid either way. Now the first one is going to be obviously much better because they would be even more in demand because of their rare special items specifically, but overall this is a very strong area if we want to look at it. Right now the fracture and the snakebite are sitting at equivalent prices, even though the money is definitely very close. I think there's a clear favorite in my personal opinion, and if we want to look at the rest of the rare case market, there's a lot of cases out there right now that just don't have the hype they used to, so the prices are slipping a little bit, but they are still in a very solid position in my personal opinion. I would highly suggest if you're trying to make an investment into the rare case market, this is a very good time. You're looking at a lot of cases right now that just aren't in the demand position that they were a couple months ago, therefore the price has slipped maybe 20 to 25%, and I can't see them honestly getting much cheaper because every single day they become more desirable of an asset to own. Even if the price is staying stagnant, we know long term they are in a very solid position, and a lot of them are extremely expensive, but the prices have slipped and I don't see them going back down much further, especially than the price point they're at right now. Now one of the areas I think is really going undervalued at the current moment is going to be these character craft stickers. If we want to look at the application rates for these stickers, there is a very significant amount of demand for them, and that's very important because stickers are one of the best investments you can make when we're talking about discontinued and stickers that are no longer actively dropping. Now they haven't been removed just yet obviously, and if you want to look at the unboxing ROI, they're at 240%, so every single star you put in you're basically getting $1 back, which is absolutely insane in the current market. But let's be looking at the long-term outlook of this. If we want to look at Riptide, every single one of these stickers is up significantly. Even the ones that started at 3 cents are now sitting with a major profit wallet that you would have been very glad you invested into. I'm not saying every single sticker is going to shoot up like that, but these stickers are heavy in demand, and any sticker that gets discontinued from like an operation is consistently shown that it's going to be shooting up in price. I don't think it's going to be happening overnight, but if you want to look at the prices on these, there's a lot of them that are extremely cheap and extremely good in their future outlook, in my personal opinion. Now, this also does go for the graphic collection, provided it does get discontinued. Almost all of these items, provided the demand is there, are going to be going up in price. That's just supply and demand, and something we've consistently seen time and time again. I think that's a great opportunity, but it's not the best opportunity in my personal opinion, just because it does show to have a little bit lower demand than what I would really like to see, but it's still very solid. Now, if there's one thing hands down all across the board that is the best investment you can make right now, for my personal opinion, it's gotta be the gallery case. I mean, let's be completely clear. The Riptide, the Broken Fang, the Shattered Web, what do they all have in common? Obviously, they're discontinued cases from an operation. This isn't the exact same, but provided it does get discontinued, that's a lot, or even moved into the rare drop pool, that's a lot. But we can look at the price points on those cases. They're all $5, $10, $15. They range significantly, but they're all extremely expensive. They started out extremely cheap. If the gallery case follows that trajectory, right now you can get in for maybe a little bit over $1 to $1.50. There is a huge opportunity with this case, provided everything goes the way we would expect it to. And you gotta remember as well, whenever this thing does get finally removed from the Armory shop, it's most likely going to shoot up in price just because of the sheer hype behind it. We saw it happen the first time. It's probably going to happen again on a little bit of a lesser scale. I don't think Valve is going to move this into the rare drop pool. I honestly think it's going to be discontinued because that's a really good financial move for Valve, but there is a huge opportunity either way with the gallery case. The supply on this thing is definitely large, but it's not that large, especially if we see consistent unboxing, especially at the rate we're seeing right now. There is a huge opportunity with this case, especially when we're talking about a 1-year outlook. That's my personal opinion. Trust the data, don't trust me, but there's a lot of opportunity when we're talking about discontinued and rare cases. Now, one opportunity I've been really keeping my eyes on that's been hidden in plain sight is going to be the Austin Major. Because of everything going on outside of the Austin Major has really slipped under the radar with one of the best ROIs we've seen in a while. I've talked about it, but all 3 capsules are over 100% ROI, which is a really good indicator of the price points they're able to keep. It shows that people are not unboxing these a ton, or the demand is extremely high for said stickers. Either way, that's really good. If we want to talk about it, I think there is definitely a possibility where I see myself investing into Austin. We got to see the data come out, and it's going to be a long sale, but the opportunity is definitely there, and I would say keep an eye on it because these are very interesting capsules, and they're a little bit unique, which is always great as well. Now, if you only had a fixed budget, what would be my #1 investment? Hands down right now, it's going to be the gallery case. I think there's a huge opportunity with this one to see some pretty massive returns in not that long of a time frame. I could easily see this one pushing up relatively quickly. Outside of that, I think the character craft stickers are really good. If you've got a super small budget, they've got the opportunity to have a very large output for what they've got. But that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.